Welcome to the Hindustani Poetry Podcast. I am Samina Mishra. This podcast is a curation of poetry written by children in workshops that were part of the Hindustani research project. The poems explore the ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity guaranteed to all citizens by the Constitution of India. The children writing these poems are from grades 6 to 9 from 3 places. Shahin Bagh in Delhi, that was a site of a citizens' protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act. Rural Firozpur in Punjab, that was active in the farmers' protests. And Kitab Mahal, a library catering to Dalit and Muslim children in Govandi, Mumbai. The children are a mixed group. Some study in English medium private schools, some in government schools. Some children wrote in Hindi, some in English. They bring their diverse contexts into the poems they write, giving us glimpses of their lived experiences. Listening to their poems can lead us to think about our own experiences of liberty, equality, and fraternity, and examine what citizenship means. The poems can perhaps open a window to the world we seek to live in. How do we know who we are? How do we become who we are? Are we unique or are we similar to others? Is it possible that both are true? Art and poetry are ways to answer these questions. Sometimes we read what someone has written and we think, that's me. And in that moment, we've understood something about ourselves. And also that we are connected to another because they have just shown us a part of themselves. At other times, we see that there are differences, even though we may share the same name, or live in the same city, or have the same nationality. Nationality is an abstract idea. Is it something we are, or is it something we become? Again, is it possible that both are true? The poems that we share in this episode encourage us to think about this.
Because I was very happy to see the Taj Mahal. Because I was very happy when we went to hoist the tricolor with my family. Because I like to celebrate Eid and Diwali. Because I like to wear kurta and pajama. Because I like to eat dal roti. That is why I'm Indian.
Because we celebrate Eid. Because India's flag flies in our school. Because I speak Hindi. Because we offer namaz. Because I go to my grandmother's house for the holidays. That is why I am Indian.
Because Hindi is taught in every school of India. Because whenever I open my cupboard, I always find salwar kameez. Because all the people of our compound gather together to celebrate Independence Day or Republic Day and hoist the flag. Because at home, my mother cooks roti daily with every dish. Because at every wedding, our houses get decorated with marigold flowers. That is why I am Indian.
Because is a collection of poems written by middle school children that explores what makes them Indian. The children speak of the Taj Mahal, the Indian flag, Eid and Diwali, kurta pajama and shalwar kameez, dal roti, Hindi, namaz, marigold flowers at weddings. Are these unique to each individual child, or are they shared by all Indians? In thinking about what makes them Indian, the children have drawn from their everyday experiences. These may be familiar to many growing up in India, and this creates a shared sense of belonging. But what about the person who has never seen the Taj Mahal? Or the person who likes to eat fish and rice? Or the person who speaks only Tamil and not Hindi? Everyday experiences are different for different people. So, can we generalize the idea of being Indian? The examples of being Indian shared by the children who wrote these poems include objects like the flag and monuments like the Taj Mahal, often referred to as common heritage that instill a sense of belonging. So we hoist the tricolour on important occasions and we organize trips to see the Taj Mahal. But are we doing them because they give us joy? Or because they make us feel Indian, because we think all Indians should have these experiences? Is there a difference between these, or are they intertwined? Is it important to think about that? Do all Indians share a common history? Or does anyone get left out when we see certain symbols as common heritage? These poems that give us glimpses into what being Indian means to these children never mention geographical and physical boundaries. Does that mean that a sense of belonging is not connected to these, to borders that define a country? Can a sense of belonging transcend borders? What does that arise out of then? Can there be a sense of belonging that is ever expansive, that grows and swells to embrace more and more, that does not exclude, but always includes? Sushil Shukla is a writer and poet and heads the publishing house Ektara that brings out children's books and magazines. He read these poems and shared his thoughts with us.
इन कविताओं में उम्मीद और चेतावनी दोनों दिखी मुझे। कविता की जो तासीर होती है, बात करने का जो सलीका होता है, मुहावरा होता है,
I saw both hope and a warning in these poems. If I read them from the perspective of the effect of poetry, the way it speaks, the idiom, then, for example, we say hamari dal roti chal rahi hai, meaning we are managing our daily bread, our livelihood. So then here dal roti includes everything. It includes chicken, it includes all of life, everything. So from that perspective, these poems are poems about life. The poets are acknowledging that what they eat, where they move around, play, whom they meet, how they take pleasure in life, that's what makes them Indian. These poems make the idea of being Indian wide and expansive. No one gets left out. That's what I think is the most beautiful thing about these poems. But if we think about an adult writing these, an adult saying that someone is Indian because they eat dal roti, then that can become a dangerous idea. It points us towards being alert to our context and that we have to keep the fragrance of life alive in our children's poetry. We have to encourage them to believe in the inclusive fragrance that is their idea of being Indian.
Because I was very happy to see the Taj Mahal. Because I was very happy when we went to hoist a tricolour with my family. Because I like to celebrate Eid and Diwali. Because I like to wear kurta and pajama. Because I like to eat dal roti. That is why I'm Indian.
Because we celebrate Eid. Because India's flag flies in our school. Because I speak Hindi. Because we offer namaz. Because I go to my grandmother's house for the holidays. That is why I am Indian.
Because Hindi is taught in every school of India. Because whenever I open my cupboard, I always find salwar kameez. Because all the people of our compound gather together to celebrate Independence Day or Republic Day and hoist the flag. Because at home, my mother cooks roti daily with every dish. Because at every wedding, our houses get decorated with marigold flowers. That is why I am Indian.
These poems are from Hum Hindustani, a project on children and citizenship for TESF India. The poems in this episode were read by
Ronish,
Kashvi,
and
Sama.
more details on the project can be found in the show notes. The Hum Hindustani Poetry Podcast is a production of the Magic Key Center for the Arts in Childhood and is written and hosted by me, Samina Mishra. The children reading the poems were mentored by Ananya Tripathi. Studio recordings were done at Quarter Note Studios by Amartya Ghosh. Music is by Shireen Ghosh, and the vocal track you hear is Ishan Chintamani. This podcast was produced by Vaka Media. Our thanks go out to all the children who participated in the Hum Hindustani workshops and wrote these poems. You can follow us on Instagram at the Magic Key Center or visit hum-hindustani.in to know more about the project. Support for this podcast comes from Rohini Nilikani Philanthropies.